because of COVID-19 protocols. He traveled to a club-approved medical appointment Saturday that required him to leave the New England region. All his daily COVID tests were negative. Because of a misunderstanding about COVID tests conducted away from NFL facilities, Newton must be out 5 days per protocol. In Cam's absence, rookie Mac Jones moves up the depth chart at practice and has a chance to make his case to start, notes ESPN's Dan Orlovsky.
Certainly opens the door to a very close quarterback competition, and it's an opportunity for Mac Jones to step in and be like, this is my football team, and this is my offense, and I'm going to show you how.
Dan Orlovsky on Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Colts quarterback Carson Wentz returned to practice today. He's coming back from foot surgery, says he's optimistic about returning for week 1, but we'll see how his foot responds. Baseball, the reeling Padres fired pitching coach Larry Rothschild, Blake Snell, and Chris Paddock among the pitchers who've underperformed for San Diego this season. Two of the hottest teams in baseball meeting up in Atlanta tonight. The Braves and Yankees have both won 9 straight games. Atlanta's got a 5-game lead atop the National League East, while the Yankees have the top AL wildcard spot and are 4.5 games back of division-leading Tampa Bay.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar Levine Studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Prime time football. Exactly where the Jaguars should be. Monday night, I'll be honest, it's a preseason game, but I'm a little nervous, Casey. All right? I'm a little nervous because to me, there's so much riding on this game. Now, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. Brent Martineau's in New Orleans. We'll get to him in a second. But I just got to start by saying, this is the national narrative game right here. This is a chance, I feel like, to at least make the big talking heads out there that wanted maybe Zach Wilson over Trevor Lawrence, that are questioning Urban Meyer's coaching tactics and all this stuff. This is the first opportunity to hush some of those people up. And keep in mind, this is preseason. But this is how sports media works, everybody. Okay? And if you think that you don't care about the sports media, national media opinion, you're lying to yourself. We all care about it. We all get a little upset when Stephen A. Smith says he doesn't care about the Jacksonville Jaguars. We all get a little upset when people were saying, I think Zach Wilson might be the real steal of the draft and not Trevor Lawrence. We all get upset about that. So I get it. It's just another preseason game. But to me, there's a lot on the line right now, and I can't wait till kickoff. I can't wait till is it Faith Hill doing it? Hank Williams get canceled? I have no idea who's even singing Monday Night Football anymore. But Brent Martineau is in New Orleans. He's going to be there. He's going to be taking part of it in person. Brent, how we doing, man?
Good, man. Hope you had a good weekend. Welcome to the streets of New Orleans, baby. We're taking you literally on the road. And so it's game day here. I like your point there. I think you're right. I don't get caught up in what the nation and the narrative is a lot of times, but I understand the fan base does.
Oh, and I think, Brent, we all do now. Come on. We all do.
I know. And rightfully so, right? We got some scar tissue when it comes to everybody else and what they think about the Jags. But I think I'm going to piggyback on what you said. I'm going to add one more thing to it because we were talking about this last night. I think tonight you're right about the national narrative. And then there's a local narrative, and I think it's the game that really matters will be September 12th against Houston. These are two games where, hey, good performance, not necessarily a scoreboard tonight, but good performance in the first half, Trevor looking good. That can help the narrative. And then September 12th feels like a game the Jags just can't lose because we've heard all this stuff about Houston. And even though the Jags are 1-15 team, it feels like they should win that game, and anybody who plays Houston should win that game. Little bus going by. Don't worry about that. But so I think those are two huge narrative games for the Jags. One tonight, one September 12th, one nationally, one locally to say, hey, this isn't the same old Jags.
Well, without a doubt. And it's weird because, and once again, like I'm super excited for this game. Like this feels like a title fight for me at this point because the lead up to this game, the past couple of days, it's been the Trevor Lawrence show. Now, with all due respect to the New Orleans Saints, it feels like they're the undercard and the Jaguars are must-see TV because ESPN and everybody else, they are hyping Trevor Lawrence up right now. Like, this is going to be the Trevor Lawrence showcase game. This is the reason why the Jaguars are on prime time right now, is to showcase Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, Urban Meyer, that's a little narrative as well, but this is the Trevor Lawrence game. So hopefully, he gets at least a half, I would expect. I mean, I think that would be fair to see what he can do. But also, this is his big chance right now on the national stage, prime time, to show what he can do.
Yeah, I think it's a good call, because I'm going to add again to what you're saying about Trevor, because ESPN's going to pump up Trevor. But if you looked at some of the big outlets nationally today, they really did the Urban Meyer angle too. And so Albert Breer was here last week. He wrote the article in his MMQB. Peter King over the last couple of days was here. That had a Meyer angle to it. Lindsey Jones from The Athletic wrote something on Urban Meyer and the Jags. So if you start all over the country today, the Jags were a topic. They took a lot of the headlines and a lot of the space in print. And so you add that to what will be all day Trevor Lawrence coverage. He sat down with Jeff Darlington. They're going to hike that up and play that up. Then I think you're right on the money. So, yeah, there's a lot going on in this game for the Jags. And by the way, man, that's all optics and perspective and everything outside of Jacksonville. Really, the biggest story going on with this football team is, are we about 24 to 48 hours away from finding out who the starting quarterback for sure is for the Jacksonville Jaguars? And if so, it would be nice if there was some separation from Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew tonight, and Trevor just gets named the guy on September 12th.
Yeah, one's going to think that in terms of playing time, if they truly are on an equal plane right now, which you know how we all feel about it, I don't think they are, but if they are on an equal plane, how much playing time does each quarterback get? Because this has to be the last edition. You can't go to preseason game number 3 and still not know. So this audition right here should be the final one. Now, obviously, I think Trevor's ahead by a landslide. Take that for how you want. I thought he cemented himself in the first preseason game. But I'm really curious to see how Urban Meyer works in Gardner Minshew here, because keep in mind, you have C.J. Beathard as well, who I think is in need of some reps, because he probably had the best game out of anybody out of that quarterback group right now, and he's still buying, for obviously a backup quarterback spot as well.
Yeah, we were talking about the backup job last night a little bit on Action Sports Jax Primetime, CBS 47 and Fox 30, and also off TV. And someone brought up a good point. I'm going to ask you this. Gardner Minshew, to me, getting 11 snaps, I think it was, in preseason game number 1 was odd. I thought he was going to play a lot more. Did that say that he is, A, the backup quarterback? Or did that say, hey, he's not playing well, and we don't want to showcase him not playing well in case we could trade him, so we're going to yank him out of there? Which one would you buy?
See, I'm not buying either of them. If I was going to buy something, I think Urban Meyer had it in his mind that he was only going to play Gardner Minshew until the half. And then he was surprised of just how quickly that game went and how many reps Gardner Minshew actually got. I think the game plan the entire time was going to say, okay, Trevor, go out there for whatever it was, 2 or 3 drives, and then Minshew takes the rest, and then we'll let C.J. Beathard take part, and maybe Jake Luton the second half. I think that was always the plan. I think Urban Meyer surprised himself a little bit of just how that game flow works, and even alluded to it himself. He was surprised how the college game is different from the pro game in terms of how many plays you can actually run sometimes. So I think that kind of alludes to the fact that there was always the plan in place that Minshew was going to play up until the half, and then there's going to be C.J. Beathard and Jake Luton in the second half.
All right, so let's get to the nitty-gritty of this. How much did they play tonight? You referenced it. I don't know if he gets a full half for Trevor Lawrence. I think it depends on what it looks like. But I do think he'll go into the second quarter, like halfway through the second quarter at a minimum. So I think his series go from 2 to 4, if you get what I'm thinking. And it's just a matter of how many plays that is, how long does that take. But I think he's going to play 4 series tonight. And that's how I'll judge it, instead of number of plays or number of quarters. And then I think you're probably looking at 4 or 5 series for Gardner Minshew. And then C.J. Beathard will come in at the end, is my guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you can go and double on what Lawrence had his first game, so be it. I'd like to see him get at least 4 or 5 series just to get acquainted a little bit, because this is kind of the last go-around, I would think. Now, I'm not sure what preseason game number 3 has in mind here, but this is the chance to get everybody around each other and to see what you have and to really kind of get a little glimpse of what this offense could be. Now, it's still going to be vanilla. You're not going to throw the entire playbook at the Saints, but we're talking about a Saints team right now who my indications of reading, they're not going to have a lot of their starters on defense, right? Now, usually the Saints, their defense, it's highly touted. It can strike the fear in an offensive coordinator. You're not going to have a lot of those big names on defense tonight. That gives an advantage to the Jaguars offense, so take advantage of it, and let's see what you got with Trevor Lawrence and company. Yeah,
I think the number one thing this week is, can the offense look sufficient and efficient, and can they get it done? Because you could just read how Urban Meyer, when he talked to me at halftime of the Browns game live, when he met with reporters after, even 2 days later, Urban Meyer was still miffed at the offense, right? He does not know what 85 yards in the first half is. Like, that looked foreign to him. So it's all about the offense being able to look more like Urban wants it to look tonight. And then secondarily, I think the defense in the pass game is got to look a little bit better than it did. I mean, we're talking about two quarterbacks, Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston, who struggled a week ago. This offense doesn't have Michael Thomas. How much will other guys play? We don't even know. So I think it's important for the Jaguars' pass defense to certainly look better than they did, be able to get off the field, no 20-play drives. I don't care if that's a third string. He just can't look like that. So it's number one, offense. It's number two, the defense. By the way, they'll be without Josh Allen tonight. He didn't make the trip. COVID-19 reserve list for Josh. So probably a lot of playing time for Chason once again, who played a lot against the Cleveland Browns.
Well, and on the defensive side of the ball for the Jaguars, it's going to be definitely interesting because you literally have a real quarterback competition going on right now in New Orleans with Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. Now, if you're into the whole betting and the odds and everything, right now Jameis is a minus 185 to start the season out. Now, I get it, 185. I mean, that's not bad, but at the same time, that's not enough for me. Like, I feel like Trevor Lawrence would be like minus 600, minus 700 at least. So they have a full-fledged quarterback competition going on right now in New Orleans, and it's going to keep the defense on their toes of the Jaguars because you have a guy in Jameis Winston who is more of your traditional pocket passer, has a big arm, but he can make mistakes, and you got a guy in Taysom Hill where you got to really spend just a whole day just game planning for him and what he can do in terms with his legs and his arm. So it's going to keep the defense honest, obviously. Now, I think the plus of this whole matchup tonight is the fact that this could be a game where the Jaguars secondary gets some more swag going. Because with Michael Thomas out, and if you look at their wide receivers, depending who's playing, and even if their starters are playing, they don't really scare you too much. So this could be a nice tune-up game, I feel like, for the Jaguars secondary. Now, people got to be on the same page. You can't have lapses. We got to make sure this defense is firing all cylinders. But I think from a passing game standpoint for that Jaguars defense, it could be a confidence booster.
Yeah, I think so, too. There's a lot to watch, of course, and we'll see how much guys play. But I think it's like you mentioned, top of the show, where we started with, this is a good game for the narrative, for the optics, for all those words that some people don't like. But that's what takes place in these kind of games. I mean, around the country, people are going to be watching the Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence. And it's nice when they're saying good things. It's better than saying bad things. And there's been too many bad things. You keep piling up bad things, and it's hard to break that momentum. And we've seen that over the years. It is just hard to get out of that rut. So the more good, the better tonight for the Jacksonville Jaguars. As much as a preseason game doesn't matter, I agree with you. I think this one feels like it matters. And this is kind of the time where Trevor Lawrence can now take the reins of this football team. So if he can play well here and he gets named the guy this week, now there's some momentum on Trevor Lawrence starting to build everything in that locker room, and everything points toward Trevor. We know that's where it's going, but you still got to have evidence that that's happening. And so I think tonight that evidence certainly can take place. Hey, big weekend all across the board, huh? I mean, you're going to get some wrestling going tonight because Friday night, Saturday night, I was like hooked on wrestling on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, wrestling definitely took over in all the best ways possible. Obviously, CM Punk comes back Friday night. Becky Lynch, on Friday night, and then Becky Lynch, Brock Lesnar making an appearance Saturday night. It's a hell of a time to be a wrestling fan right now, but obviously the whole CM Punk announcement really I feel like, Twitter almost broke the internet, if you will, just because even though it was expected, it was still just a monumental thing. You know, we haven't seen the guy in 7 years, comes out to open the show, drops a hell of a promo, got the crowd amped up. You're looking forward to the future now of AEW, and most importantly for AEW, now they're starting to make a play for earning that Friday night slot as well, going against SmackDown every single week.
That was something, by the way, I would just say this, that like I showed my wife, I showed my kids, and we don't watch wrestling in my house. And I was like, look at the scene in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, it's unbelievable, even for somebody who doesn't watch it, to see, one, just how crazy wrestling fans can be, two, how big CM Punk is, and three, what Tony Khan has built. You know, I mean, listen, there's been a lot of critics of the Khan family. Fulham, Jags, starting a wrestling outfit, all those different things. And there's not a lot of critics right now of Tony Khan and what he's building with AEW, man.
No, I mean, you know, it's like we kind of talked about when, you know, we went to the first pay-per-view in Vegas when I was there. And I simply said, you know, the landscape of professional wrestling has changed for the better. And anytime you can breed competition, you can go head-to-head, that's only going to improve the product. Well, Tony Khan took that model, whatever it is now, 2.5, 3 years ago, and now he's grown it to the fact of they are in serious competition with WWE. And I didn't fathom we would be here right now. I figured it would take longer to grow the brand, but it goes to show you, and this is the biggest difference from Tony Khan's perspective and Vince McMahon's perspective. Vince McMahon has always done things Vince McMahon's way. He's always kind of had an idea of what he thinks wrestling should be. Tony Khan has confided not only in his expertise because he grew up a fan, but also in the people around him. He's hired the right people around him to be successful, whether that is Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, you know, Kenny Omega. All these guys have some sort of say of what you think the best opportunity would be for, you know, to go forward for AEW. And you've seen that. So you're seeing more and more wrestlers now want to come to AEW. You see more and more wrestlers talk about AEW. And really the sky's the limit at this point because they just had their Friday show. That's growing now as well. They have Elevation. They have AEW Dark. They have a lot of things on their plate right now. And it just begs you to ask, I mean, we're 2 years or 3 years after the fact of when they first premiered. Where are we going to be 3 years from now? It's crazy to think about.
Yeah, Lordy Wild. You know, like buses right now and trucks here in the streets of New Orleans are like yellow flies to me. They just won't leave me alone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to walk down the street and be like, hey, it's kind of loud over here. Nope, they follow me right down the road. The Jags buses are, by the way, piling up right outside the team hotel. That's kind of what you hear behind us as the Jags are getting set to go over to the Superdome. Now Caesars Superdome is what it's called. I'm not sure if you happen to see my Twitter yesterday when we flew into New Orleans, Austin Lane.
I did not.
But have you ever been drunk on a plane?
Like drunk? No, I've never been drunk on a plane. Like I've been faded and tipsy, but I've never been drunk on a plane.
Yeah, well, yesterday from Houston to New Orleans, thankfully only an hour flight, nobody's sitting in my row. And so Stuart is a little jealous of me. He's sitting right in front, but he has a couple of people in his row. And it looks like they're about to close shop, you know, on the gate. And so I'm like, oh, I didn't even notice it. But Stuart was kind of like, see, there's another truck. They're just all following me around right now. But Stuart was like mad that I had my own row. Well, then a couple more folks trickle in. And for the next hour, I got every sign of drunk.
There you
I
go.
got happy drunk. I got angry drunk. I got annoying drunk. I got what I said, rent a room drunk. I thought I was in couples marriage counseling for a little bit.
Sure.
Name the different kinds of drunk. And I got it.
Yeah.
And it was quite a flight. That's never really happened to me. I've been pretty fortunate. But, I mean, you know, just swearing drunk. You know, it's like, why are you swearing? Like, good thing there were no kids around, like the last few rows in the back of the plane.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you've ever been next to the drunk people. But I got it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been next to the drunk people. Thankfully, not really on a plane because that's where I turn my headphones up and try to ignore them as much as possible. But I feel like if you're going to New Orleans or you're going to Las Vegas, there's a couple on every single flight. That's just the way it is. It seems like those are kind of like the party hubs, and those cities never sleep. I guess maybe New York as well, but there's always excuses for New York. and there's different places outside of the city. But I feel like if you're going to New Orleans or you're going to Las Vegas, I would say 8 out of 10 times there's going to be at least one drunk or belligerent person on that plane.
Yeah, and by the way, we didn't get belligerent drunk. There were times that I was wondering if it was going to get there because of some of the comments they made. But, I mean, they were talking so loud and just some of the stuff I wouldn't even want to repeat anyway. But it was quite the scene. Tried to ignore it as much as we could, but I was sitting right next to it.
Couple of questions for you, Brent.
Throw up drunk on my lap, so that's good.
That is good. Did we ever figure out which airline it was you flew? Was it the very, very cheap one, or did you maybe splurge? And secondly, why do you and Stuart not sit next to each other? Not actually friends, just colleagues, or?
Yeah, I can only take so much, Stuart, is the answer to your question. We're going to find United. It's the weirdest thing, and folks that travel a bunch know this. I don't know why it's so hard to get from Jacksonville to New Orleans. But it's not easy. It should be. Don't you think there should be like direct flight after direct flight, Jacksonville to New Orleans? There's a direct flight to freaking California.
Yeah.
Now, and Denver. And, well, there's not. And so we actually flew United out. We're flying Southwest back. That was like the best way to go because we want to get back for tomorrow's show. So we got to get out of here in the morning. But, yeah, I don't know why we didn't sit next to each other. I think maybe they just didn't have them available, Casey, when we booked it. So we were kind of one right in front of the other instead, which is certainly okay, probably for Stuart as well. He probably spends enough time around me, too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you do, too. So you wouldn't want to sit next to me on the plane, most likely. But, hey, here's the deal. I'm going to go. Jags are actually getting out of the team hotel here in a little bit, hopping on the buses, getting over to the Superdome. I'm going to move in and out all show long. I've got some TV hits. We're going to go down the French Quarter, do some TV from there on CBS 47 and Fox 30, then make our way over to the Superdome. So I'll be in and out. Austin's got the reins, and we'll keep talking some Jags football, what else we want to see here tonight, plus a weekend of football in the NFL, right, Austin?
You better believe, man. A lot to talk about in the NFL world, obviously highlighted by this Jaguars game tonight, primetime television. Let's get it.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Another partly sunny and hot day with temperatures up near 90, feels like 100 plus. Then some rain midday into this afternoon with scattered showers and storms. A shower early tonight, partly cloudy, low 74. Then scattered showers and storms Tuesday, high 91. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sima.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where for a limited time, get 0% financing for 5 years, only at Beard's Diamonds.
Get back to high fives and family reunions. Get back to hugs and happy hour. Get back to game day and Sunday service. Get back to being Jax. No matter how much we wish, we can't go back to the time before COVID, but we can reset by getting the vaccine. The vaccine is safe, it's effective, and the more you know, the more confident you will feel in your decision. So get the facts about the vax. Visit getthefaxjax.org.
At Tire Outlet, we're committed to providing our customers with professional and honest automotive recommendations. Don't believe us? Check out our reviews online and see why we're Jacksonville's preferred automotive shop.
Great guys to work with, always very helpful and affordable.
With 12 locations across Northeast Florida, Tire Outlet can help keep you and your family safe on the road, wherever you are.
Wholesale prices, premium service, Tire Outlet.
The Community Spotlight Award this week goes to Beaver Toyota. Beaver Toyota is a partner in the community. They have a random act of wow program that they see as a way of paying it forward. If you see Mike or Linda Beaver, Nick Ruther, or anyone from Beaver Toyota this week, thank them for being a great partner in the community. The Community Spotlight Award recognizes those that are great community partners. Again, this week the Community Spotlight Award goes to Beaver Toyota. Congrats to Beaver Toyota.
The new era has arrived for Jacksonville football. New coach, new superstars, and a new reason for optimism. One consistent is Tailgaters Parking will be delivering the very best tailgating experience anywhere at the bank. Come see for yourself. Tailgaters doesn't just talk a big game, they deliver. Tailgaters is right across the street from TIAA Bank Field. Have clean, permanent restrooms, great food options, a full liquor bar, and parking spots on a well-kept grass lot. Check out Tailgaters Parking at tailgatersparking.com to reserve your spot now.
It is the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family-owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY. We are into that travel, baseball, and softball season now for the kids, and with that, we need a reliable car, and we need folks that are tremendous at customer service just in case we need their help. Well, the place to go is Fields Auto Group. That's what we did. My wife loves leasing her Cadillac XT6 from Fields Cadillac, part of the Fields Auto Group. It's safe. We can trust Fields Auto Group, and hey, it's luxury for less while you're on the road. Fields Cadillac Jacksonville and St. Augustine are part of the Fields Auto Group family. There's also Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. It's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We've tried the loaner program, gone in for routine service, and every experience with Fields Auto Group has been first class. Whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations around Jacksonville. Just visit FieldsAuto.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply. Men over 40, is your body feeling soft and not as lean? Are you losing your energy, drive, or even your passion? If so, you could be feeling the loss of growth hormone. The reality is, as early as 25, your natural production of GH begins to significantly slow down, which means you start slowing down. Well, listen to this. New GH Boost from Nugenix is the world's first and only non-prescription supplement that safely supercharges your body's GH production at night when it naturally occurs. Clinical studies show the ingredients in GH Boost can increase your body's own GH levels more than 100% in just the first 90 minutes. And right now, Nugenix is letting every man in America try a complimentary 2-week sample by texting TOWER to 231231 now. Get GH Boost and get your swagger back at the gym and in the bedroom. It's killing it at GNC, but you can only get your sample by texting TOWER to 231231. That's TOWER to 231231. Text TOWER to 231231.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
I don't think it's a quarterback competition. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be an outstanding NFL quarterback for a long time. And we talked with him yesterday, and he's as impressive a rookie quarterback as I've seen in a long time.
I believe that's Brian Greasy of ESPN.
Sounds about right.
You want to hear a fun fact about Brian Greasy?
What you got?
Someplace at my grandma's house right now, in a giant cardboard box, there is a giant poster that I drew when I was in second grade of Brian Greasy rocking a Michigan helmet. And in the picture, there's a quote bubble that says, "Who wants next?" Because I was a giant Michigan fan. Shout out to Charles Woodson. Shout out to Anthony Thomas, a.k.a. the A-Train. Now you know where it came from. And I was a big Brian Greasy fan as well. Now, when he got to the pros, it was kind of whatever. And I'm a little embarrassed to say I was more of a Michigan fan as a child than I was a Wisconsin fan. That, you know, the Bucky and the red and white didn't take hold until later on in my middle school and respectable high school careers. Austin Lane, Action Sports Jax on ESPN. Brent Martineau at the venue in New Orleans. I think he's in the middle of Bourbon Street right now. It sounds like he's in the middle of Bourbon Street, getting ready to go to the game. What is the vibe like right now on Bourbon Street? Are they partying out there, Brent?
Yeah, I actually am not in Bourbon Street. Now it will sound a little hollow because I'm back up in the hotel.
Okay.
Before we take off, we're going to actually go to the French Quarter and do some TV from there, and so right next to Bourbon Street, and then we'll go to the stadium because the game's not until 7 o'clock, so we still have a lot of time. In fact, I don't even think we could get into the stadium this early. But no Bourbon Street, man. I've been to New Orleans so many times that we went to a place, I think this might have been right on the foot of Bourbon Street yesterday. It was called Gumbo Shop. So people who are familiar with New Orleans, it was really good New Orleans cuisine.
Okay.
And then we're located over near the convention center. So it's about a mile and a half from Bourbon Street. But been in New Orleans a lot. So if I don't see Bourbon Street again, it's kind of what I told somebody yesterday is Bourbon Street in New Orleans is like Main Street in Magic Kingdom for me. If I never went on it again, I'd be fine.
I got you. So then you said you guys are going to you're going to the French Quarter.
Yeah, we'll go to the French Quarter just for a little background, and that's a fun spot. I think that's an underrated spot. Of course, everybody talks Bourbon Street, but everybody knows the French Quarter too.
Yeah.
So we'll go over there, maybe grab a beignet before we get into the game.
Well, tonight. I was going to say, if you find yourselves in the French Quarter, and then depending what time it is, if you can find it, because it's almost impossible to find, but check out a place called The Dungeon, and then get 2 drinks called Dragon's Blood. You can't go wrong with that.
We were talking about The Dungeon yesterday. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if I've been to The Dungeon, but on one of the trips before, the guys that we were with yesterday, they have been to The Dungeon. So it's been talked about plentiful. But I can't remember I've been here a lot, but I'm not one of those guys that exactly remembers where I went to, what the name of it was.
Yeah, so. No, I'm going to be honest. If you've been to The Dungeon, you would know you've been to The Dungeon. Okay. Because it's one of a kind, and a little helpful hint for everybody. If you go to The Dungeon, don't have your cell phone out and about, because they get upset with that. You can't have your cell phone out.
Why?
Because they don't like taking pictures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the other thing. I'm going to give you guys an update. This is very interesting, right? We live in a COVID world. I told you earlier, Josh Allen didn't make the trip here to Jacksonville. He's on the COVID-19 list. Now, that can mean a bunch of different things. We saw we'll probably talk about this in a bit, the Cam Newton story, where he's going to be out a bit for not taking a test, which basically led to the revelation that he's not vaccinated. Well, here in New Orleans, much like the Jacksonville area, it's been a hot spot for COVID-19. And when we went to the restaurant yesterday, and again just this afternoon for lunch, you have to bring your vaccination card to the restaurant and to bars, and they're really starting to hammer down on it today. Somebody was telling us today it really goes into effect. So it's essentially like if you have people in there that are not vaccinated and you let them in, they shut you down immediately. So it's like underage drinking basically. And so that's what's happened in New Orleans. And tonight at the game, you have to either be vaccinated or have passed a negative test in the last 48 hours. So we're here in New Orleans, you got to carry around that vaccination card and ID.
Oh, I think we might have lost Brent there for a second. Well, it's interesting too with the vaccination cards. Because I'm gonna say it like this. Yeah, I've been vaccinated. I got my vaccination card. I'll be honest with you. It seems like they just printed it off on a piece of paper and put some lines on it and said, okay, you're vaccinated now. I wonder how easy that would be to duplicate and just have a fake vaccination card. And I can't be the only person that's thought of this. And I'm not trying to spread fear or anything like that. But I wonder how many people would actually do that. Would go to a football game with a fake card and say, yeah, I'm vaccinated, even though they're not, and then get in, and then who knows, if you spread it and everything. So very interesting by New Orleans, though, and I'm not sure in terms of political exactly where they'll line up on, but I can see more and more NFL cities, taking precedent with this, because we've been over this before a little bit. When you talk about an NFL city having one mandate or having one rule, it's very uncommon for the other cities not to follow suit. If you're Roger Goodell right now, if you're the NFL and you're representing the Shield, you want to get everybody on the same page. You're trying to run a uniform league. So if New Orleans is to the point where it's like, all right, let's see those vaccination cards, you can't get in, I wonder how long it's going to take before other teams start following suit. Now, I get it. It's the state rule. It's not an NFL team. I mean, it's an NFL team's rule, obviously, but it's a state rule. And every state can kind of govern however they want. But I just feel like from the NFL model, 9 times out of 10, usually people want to follow suit. So I wonder what we're going to be talking about here when we're, halfway through the regular season. And who knows what COVID's going to be doing by then. But I wonder if you start to see more teams take precedent and say, we got to have your cards if you can get in.
So, Austin, I mean, listen, here's the deal. To your point, can you just copy a card? Well, they're at restaurants in here, they're actually asking for IDs as well. And we just went into a place. Now, we went to Mother's Restaurant, which is a pretty famous restaurant here in New Orleans. And it's the first time I've been. So they might be doing this all the time, but we actually signed in. And so I don't know if that's a new thing. And it might be just a thing they do, like keep like a guest book. I don't know. But it didn't look like a guest book. It was like a pad, of paper. And that was it. So I think they're clamping down here. And you're right. Do we get to a point where that's the case? And what does that look like in Jacksonville is a fair question. How many people are vaccinated? How much of the fan base are you putting in a corner by saying you can't come? That could be challenging as well, especially in a year with this much hype around the Jags. And many people want to go to the games and see them. So certainly something to keep an eye on. But it's happened here. It's happening in Vegas. And it's happened up in Toronto last week, I think we saw. And I don't think it's going to stop. I think this is kind of the new wave until the numbers start going down.
Yeah, and it's something to keep an eye on. Obviously, if you're vaccinated, then you really have nothing to worry about. But it's going to speak volumes, because I feel like, with this Saints game, I'm not really sure how hardcore the Saints fan base is in terms of, going to preseason games. I haven't really been following their fan base that much. But I do know Dale Ravel posted earlier today, there's tickets right now available for $1. For this preseason game, $1. And then obviously with the tax and everything like that. So it goes to show you, I'm not sure if people are not willing to take part in it because it doesn't align with their political views or they don't believe in the vaccination, whatever the case may be. But I wonder if other teams follow suit, if this can hurt the bottom line in terms of attendance.
Yeah, I think it can. I think it will. I think one way or another, if they require it, I just don't know how much. How much will it? It's up for debate. What are the numbers in whatever city you're talking about? But I do think it will certainly alienate a portion of the fan base. One, because they're not vaccinated, or two, because they don't like the fact that they're doing it. So certainly a possibility when it comes to that. Hey, speaking of, and we'll probably get into more of this football at 5 and around the NFL. But the Cam Newton situation is interesting, Austin. From the non-vaccination point, that's one thing. From the COVID testing and the misunderstanding that was coming out of New England around this, but maybe bigger than all that is Mac Jones has played really well. Of course, Cam Newton's coming off a nice performance as well, but now he misses the next week, essentially. You start to wonder, could Mac Jones take grip of that job?
No, I don't think so. Depending how long Cam Newton's going to be out for, obviously, if he's out for the regular season, then yeah, Mac Jones is going to be the guy for a while. But I've always found the philosophy that it's Cam Newton's job to lose, and he definitely hasn't lost it in the preseason. If anything, you go back to his last game, was probably the best that he's looked in a Patriots jersey. So I get it. He, the whole COVID protocols right now, he's in it. It happens to a lot of players. But I think that's just kind of a technicality at this point. And Cam Newton's not going to lose his job over a technicality. So whenever he's back, I have him still being the starter.
Yeah, I would suspect. Again, you just wonder because it feels like Mac has a little momentum up there in New England. But again, Cam's coming off a good performance. So that's the last thing people remember as well. Here's the story on it, right? He's out 5 days due to COVID protocols. The Patriots said this in a statement: due to a misunderstanding about tests conducted away from NFL facilities and as required by the NFL NFLPA protocols, Cam will be subject to the 5-day entry cadence process before returning to the facility. And I think it's all originated because he had gone somewhere else for a medical appointment and had to travel to it and leave the New England area with club approval, by the way. He didn't do that behind their back. So there's nothing shady about what Cam did, but at the same time, in compliance with the protocols, that puts him in an awkward spot for the next 5 days. Might not even matter. We still don't even know how teams are going to treat that third preseason game, Austin. They might just go all to the bench.
Yeah, exactly. And then speaking of COVID protocols, do we know where Josh Allen falls in line now with the COVID protocols?
Well, we just know he didn't make the trip, and so obviously he's not playing, which is probably a good thing because I started wondering, okay, what does that mean? Does he go back on his own? What about contact tracing, potentially? And there's a variety of reasons why you could end up on the COVID-19 list. Doesn't mean you have COVID-19. So we don't know. If you go back and look at CJ Henderson, for about a week or so, he was out. And then Taven Bryan, somewhere in there, went from non-football injury list when he entered camp to the COVID-19 protocols. And then they have to have this reestablishment period to come back. And that took a few days. So This can be anywhere, it seems like, Austin, from like a 5 to 10 day period. Okay. The good news is for Josh Allen is we're still a few weeks away from the opener. And how much preseason work does he really need? I think he'll be fine as long as he's healthy, and hopefully he is.
No, yeah, he doesn't need the preseason work. You know, you're not worried about him getting his preseason reps. He'll be ready to go by the time Houston comes around. Obviously, if this was preseason game number 3 and he's going through this, and yeah, maybe you're a little worried, can he make it back on time? But obviously something to keep an eye on because he's such a monumental piece of that defense. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So, hey, here's the deal. We're going to start traveling away from the team hotel like the Jags are, and we got a little TV work to do, but we're going to keep talking some football along the way. Coming up at 4 o'clock, a few things that we're looking for in this game tonight. Coming up at 5 o'clock, Austin will go around the NFL because it was a big weekend for some of those young quarterbacks and other teams in the NFL.
All right, man, let's get it. So Brent's on the road, getting ready to head to the stadium. We'll bring it back here. Who knows where we're going to go next here? I don't know, Casey. Well, what do you got for us? We really, what we need to do, and since Brent's gone now, that is kind of convenient, we got to check our golf scores a little bit. Now, I don't normally say that in this show, but we got to check the golf scores because I believe your guy and my guy are going head-to-head right now.
It's tight.
For bragging rights.
Yeah.
So let's check the golf scores. I'll let you do that because I don't know how to read a golf card sometimes. I'll let you do that. We'll get into some more football, maybe some guys to watch tonight, some fantasy stuff. And we're going to do it next year on ESPN 690.
We appreciate all the support over the years of our Action Sports Jax Stream 18. Almost $200,000 raised for local charities. We want you to be a part of this year's edition of the Action Sports Jax Stream 18 Golf Tournament. It'll be September 20th at the Golf Club at Southampton, brought to you by Cadillac. Come check it out. Be a part of it. Get a foursome, a tea sponsor. Maybe get your business involved. Go to actionsportsjaxdream18.com. Help give back to local charities that support junior golf and also the local military. ActionSportsJaxDream18.com.
When you think about Jacksonville, you think about a city that is surrounded by water. And being by water afforded Jacksonville to have one of the largest container ports in the entire country. And another fun fact that RV sales are at an all-time high right now. But what does this all mean? What am I getting at? It means that there's high-paying jobs available for those that know the ins and outs of the marine side and of the land side of recreational vehicles. And this is where JTech comes into play. JTech offers a program where you can learn about the diagnostic procedures and effective repair methods of a variety of recreational vehicles, including motorhomes and RVs, power boats, jet skis, diesel and gasoline, outboard and inboards, and much more. And they also help prepare students to take the Yamaha certification exam, which is required in the Marine Maintenance Certification Program. To learn more about JTech, visit jtech.org or call them at 904-483-9460. Ask for Hank to set up an appointment to tour the campus or get your questions answered. That's 904-483-9460 or visit jtech.org.
Anyone can talk like they're a big dog, but few actually walk the talk. We're not the only plumbing company claiming same-day water heater service. In fact, a lot of customers have called us after other companies failed to come through on their same-day service talk. Fortunately, Griffin Service delivers. We eat big dogs for lunch. And we fix what others can't. Some of that's knowing the science, engineering, and craft of AC and plumbing better than the Bubbas, but it's also better planning. The key to actually doing same-day water heater replacement is having water heaters in stock and ready to go. And that's what we do. Gas, electric, tank, tankless, we got them all in stock and ready to roll for you. So if you want to avoid the bait and switch turd bucket tactics of the Bubbas, or if you discover you're in the middle of an all talk, no walk situation with a wannabe, well, you know who to call, right?
GriffinService.com.
CMC 1250-697.
I love football and I love chicken wings. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Mortno. We are a lot alike, right? You love football and you love wings. Let's win the week with Extreme Wings Sports Grill. 4 locations in Jacksonville, Atlantic Boulevard, Ocean Way, 210 in St. Johns County, and the new location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax, serving up the freshest, never frozen, world-famous extreme hot wings to Jacksonville since 1999. We like football. We like wings. We love a good deal. To celebrate the grand opening of the Extreme Wings Roosevelt location, get 6 wings, french fries, and a drink for just $12.99 at the Roosevelt location. 6 wings, french fries, and a drink, just $12.99. Active military gets special discounts: jalapeno ranch, Caribbean jerk, spicy blue cheese, lemon pepper. So many flavors to choose from. And, of course, they can make them extreme if you want. Plenty of space at Extreme Wing Sports Grill locations. If you're looking for a place for the entire team, try Extreme Wing Sports Grill. I love it. You'll love it. 4 locations in Jacksonville, including Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax.
Slip and falls can be embarrassing, leaving you in pain and feeling like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anna John Levine. After a fall, document the scene by taking photographs. Make sure to get medical attention for any injuries you may have. If you've been injured in a slip and fall, call the law offices of Anna John Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Mr. and Mrs. Flavor, thank you for joining us.
Great to be here. I'm Barry, the flavor of berry.
I'm Janet. I'm bitter.
And I understand your son is the flavor menthol?
Yes, he's the menthol in a menthol cigarette.
He's such a disappointment. Out there getting people addicted, being used by big tobacco to target black people. He could have been a lozenge.
Menthol cigarettes are harder to quit than regular cigarettes. Find out how to quit today at tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Hold on. You want me to tell them about Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea in just 30 seconds? This is impossible. Hey, I'm Billy from Twisted Tea. How can I explain that first sip of cold, smooth, real brewed tea? So good! And the extra kick you get from just the right amount of alcohol? The twist of lemon, Wait, what? We're almost out of time? Oh, shit. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Look for the bright yellow cans wherever you buy beer.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Smart speakers are becoming part of everyday life, so why not use it to listen to the radio? Tell Alexa, Google Home, or any other speaker to play ESPN 690. Give it a shot weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
The bad news is we're not going to get to it all right here, right now. But the good news is I got the time. Wednesday, Friday, 4 Sundays or Saturdays a year. I got the time and I ain't going anywhere.
CM Punk back, AEW, Tony Khan's latest hire, and it's a big one. Even if you aren't a wrestling fan, I'm sure you heard about it on Friday night. And I loved how they did it where they debuted him right away. Casey, and we kind of talked about this a little bit during the show, was the fact that you had to debut him right away. Because if you would have kept him to the very last minute, the whole time the crowd would have been chanting CM Punk. And it would have took away from the show a little bit. So I thought it was a genius idea to, give the people what they want and debut him right away. Now, with all that being said, and yes, CM Punk, a friend of the show, we've had him on a couple of times, a fantastic guy. Didn't know they were going to do a press conference after AEW Rampage. All right, now this press conference was a Zoom interview conducted by CM Punk and Tony Khan. Now, I usually get the invite for the post press conferences, right? I've done a bunch of interviews for AEW, so imagine my surprise when I'm getting text messages, dude, are you in the press conference? Where are you at? And I'm like, check my emails. Nope, didn't get any invites. Now, when I was watching the press conference live, and I'm, CM Punk's answering all these questions, I thought, okay, it's only the people that were actually at the venue that makes sense, right? Even though it's a Zoom conversation, it's not in person. Only the people that were in person probably get the privilege and the access to do this press conference. But then one of the last people, and by the way, it was like 20 questions at this press conference, but one of the last guys was from the sports section of the Miami Herald. And then it was a slap in the face to me.
What is that?
And then I'll be honest with you, didn't really sleep well that night, okay? One of the very things that I feel like I missed out on just a little bit right? Third grade, Aaron Botwell's birthday party, didn't get invited, still bitter about it to this day. She had a pool. All my friends got invited. I didn't. Literally the only pool in central Wisconsin that she had, and I wasn't invited to her birthday party. Have not let her forget about it till this day. And that was in third grade, Casey. CM Punk press conference. I'm not saying it tops Aaron Botwell's birthday party, but it's close, okay? It's close. Not mad, just a smidge disappointed. But since we're talking about wrestling, let's go ahead and let's balance everything out, because I'm like Thanos of sports media, perfectly balanced as all things should be. Brent's not here to defend his guy. Doesn't have to be here to defend his guy because his guy missed the cut. And if you've been following our show at all, we do our golf picks every single week. This has been spearheaded by Casey. I think it's a great idea. Get those competitive juices flowing a little bit. And if we're talking about competitive juices, though, we're talking juices of a nice medium rare Ruth Chris steak that I'm bringing to the table, because my competitive juices have won back-to-back, and I'm going on back-to-back-to-back Tommy Namsky three-peat, if you will. But Brooks Koepka right now for me has to play a little better. Where are we right now on the golf rankings?
Yeah, things are swirling out of control for you thanks to Brooksy being 3 over par, which is not what you want to be over par through 10 holes. That has him at -8 for the tournament.
Okay.
Good enough for tie for 29th. Now, granted,
okay, go ahead.
When we're picking winners, we probably should be better than T29. However, you're setting the bar right now.
Yeah.
However, due to just things that I can't explain, Rory McIlroy was my pick. By the way, as you mentioned, Brent can't even be in on this conversation. His guy's not even in the
Gotta make
city.
the cut, huh?
Yeah.
Brent had a long way. He's got a lot of things going on this weekend. He's going to New Orleans. Didn't have time to pick a good golf guy. It is what it is. It's his loss.
So Rory barely makes the cut. We documented this on, that would have been Friday.
Yes.
We talked about that.
Yep.
And at this point, Rory McIlroy, who was 7 shots back of Brooks Koepka
Playing
at
out of
the
his
cut,
mind.
is now tied 29th at 8 under. Rory has played 5 more holes today than Brooks.
Okay, good.
So there are a couple of ways to look at this.
Get
One,
on the back nines. How I'm looking at it.
That is the way. Or he's 3 over through 9. It could just be Brooks anyway. Is 3 over through 9. It could just be a total fall apart. And if Rory can just par out, I might be able to squeak out a W here.
Okay, and unimportant news, can you tell us the leader real quick of the whole tournament so we can make the people happy there, and then let's go back to me and you and our competition.
Sure, John Rahm is your leader by 2.
By 2 strokes. Is it looking okay? It's looking pretty good for John Rahm. All right, he's winning the whole tournament, and that's the North Trust, something Trust.
Yes.
North Trust.
The Northern Trust.
No,
yeah.
Northern Trust.
That's
Southern
it.
Trust, Northern Trust, we're all good. See, I'm learning, man. I'm getting my golf game up a little bit.
This is incredible.
But now back to the task at hand. How many holes does Rory have left?
He is currently playing 16.
Okay.
He's in the fairway, so he's got 16, 17, and 18.
And we're tied. And this is your mistake, and this is Brent's mistake. It's a fantastic idea. Every single week we pick new golf guys. Like, that's very original. You know, a lot of people do that. It's all good, though. But I'm just telling you right now, you better hope that Rory wins this one. Because if I win 3 of these things in a row, I'm going to be insufferable to be around, Casey.
Yeah.
Because you have to understand, man. Golf, it's not really for me. I played it. You know, I can hit a shot decently every once in a while. Top golf, you don't want to see me. But I'm a competitor first and foremost.
Yeah.
And we're talking about being a competitor, Casey. And if I win back-to-back-to-back Tommy Namskys, there's going to be some gloating. There's going to be some trash talking going on. So you better hope, and Brent better hope, that Rory McIlroy wins this thing. That's all I'm going to say.
Brent doesn't have anything to hope for right now. Brent needs to hope he figures out who actually is good on the PGA Tour after the picks he's made.
And truth be told, he had Colin Morikawa, right? Who was one of the, I think he was the 2nd or 3rd highest favorite to win this thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, sometimes it's hit or miss, I guess.
Yeah, and if
Pun intended.
Colin, obviously you're not playing golf right now because you got cut. But if you happen to be listening and you ever hear that Brent Martineau has picked you that's well just withdraw from the tournament.
That's the curse.
Yeah.
That is the curse right there. So a little wrestling talk, a little golf talk. We'll get back to some football talk here at the top of the hour. We got fantasy football coming up too as well, by the way. And I'm not sure if you've been a fan of the show before you started working here, right, Casey?
That's correct.
One would think that I'm sure you listened to every single episode.
Never missed once.
That's what we want to hear. That's what the higher ups want to hear a little bit. So I am left with the daunting task because the guy that you replaced, first of all, said he was going to take over as the league manager. Mm-hmm. Now, why Kuz would want to do that, I have no idea. But he volunteered, and I said, okay. Saw him last week, said, Kuz, when's the fantasy football draft? And he said, what are you talking about? And I said, you said you're going to take care of it. And he said, I forgot about it, so now it's back on me. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
I'm the league commissioner. It is what it is. Why would I expect anything else? But now I have to have the tough chat, the tough talk of cutting somebody so you can replace them. Now, truth be told, the person that I'm cutting, Rich Jones, he hasn't really managed a roster in the past 2 years. He just kind of sets it and forgets it, kind of like the Ronco oven. You set it and forget it. You remember that? Yeah. So that's what Rich Jones does. But, dude, he's such a nice guy. And I love Rich Jones to death. The dude's a constant professional, just oozes professionalism. And I'm having a hard time trying to come up with a way to cut him from the fantasy league and get you in it. Yeah. Any suggestions?
No, he's a nice dude. I'll tell you.
Yeah, tell me. I mean, he's the nicest guy ever.
As you know, I've barely worked in this part of the building, and on like my first or second day, Rich Jones made a point to walk down here and introduce himself to me, which is probably what I should have done to him because I am no Rich Jones.
Yeah.
And so with that being my only pretty much interaction with him, except every time he walks by here, he says, "What's up?" So nice guy, top 10 guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what we do. Maybe we put a note under his door.
Yeah.
Something where we don't see him.
Well, I mean, does Hallmark make sorry you got cut from the fantasy team cards? Because, hey, Hallmark, let's go. There's every other card, whether it's grandmas, whether it's, grandsons talking to grandmas or granddaughters talking to grandpas. There's a million cards and there's a million categories. I've been in enough Walgreenses and enough CVSs to know that there's every card for every category. Still haven't seen the card where it says, sorry you didn't make the fantasy football team this year. Better luck next year.
We need it.
Hallmark, going to need that one
yesterday.
Yesterday would be ideal, but in about a week because the draft starts. I'm going to say we're going to do it probably that Monday, Casey, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, I'm in.
I mean, I'm saying it's cool with you. It's going to have to be cool with you.
It's cool with me.
But, it's going to be a tough conversation to have because Rich is a good guy. But, dude, I mean, he doesn't play, though. So what do you want me to, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Tough love here in the ESPN 690. But when we get back, I think we should be joined back with Brent Martineau, who is he at the Caesars? What are they calling the Caesars Sportsbook?
I think he's at the French Quarter.
Oh, he's at the French Quarter.
Maybe he's somewhere in New Orleans. If you see our guy Brent, say what's up.
Maybe having some gumbo, maybe having a nice baguette. Yeah, something like that. That's my Wisconsin accent coming up. But we'll have Brent Martineau back on here and some players to watch tonight. And the Jaguars preseason game, prime time, Monday Night Football. Cannot wait. More on that, ESPN 690.
Temperatures keep climbing, and hotter weather means your body needs more water. Stay hydrated. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure the water you and your family drink is cleaner, healthier, and tastes great. It starts with the Connecticut system, proudly made in America and installed by the pros CGC Water. Not sure about your water? Call CGC. They'll analyze your water for free. I haven't had to worry about my water since I got mine installed because Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of the contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, non-electric, twin tanks that use less salt and water during regeneration. Save up to $500 on select softener and RO systems this month. Financing available with approved credit. Call CGC Water at 904-552-1242. Call and ask about Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Tell them Brent sent you and find out all the details and all the great ways you can save. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Hi, Steve. Have a seat. I just wanted to see how your meeting with Chardonnay went.
Chardonnay?
According to your Peak push-to-talk device, you were with Chardonnay or Porsche or Bambi.
Oh, Bambi, right.
I clicked boop to talk, and I was talking, but you weren't booping.
I can explain.
Love these little things. I know exactly where my people are anytime I need them. Boop.
I was in a boopin' meeting. We got the contract to build the champagne room at the Jiggle and Wiggle Gentlemen's Club.
You have glitter all over your face.
Find your people with a boop. BoopToTalk.com.
Boop.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity. The future of college football is now, and our primary goal is to position the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl and Jacksonville to be prepared for a potential college football expansion. And we need you, our local business leaders, to join our team and showcase that Jacksonville supports college football. Gator Bowl Sports has opportunities for all companies, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. I would love to meet you and talk about our future. If you'd like to learn more, contact me at 904-798-1700.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
I'm Action News Jax's Phil Amato.
And I'm Letitia Barriola. Back to school means different things to different parents.
And that's why we met with local moms so they could tell us what's most important to them.
It's weather. I'm Action News Jax First Alert meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
This is our storm season. My forecast gives parents a heads up on how to dress the kids.
And it's traffic. I'm traffic expert Maritza Ross, and I'll always show you the fastest way to get where you need to be. So, go back to school.
With Action News Jax this morning.
Tired of dusting, cleaning the house? I call Actual Cleaning. They're professional, reliable, and affordable at $40 an hour. Experts you can trust.
Book now. Actualcleaning.com.
Book 4 cleanings and get the 5th one free. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Right now, no Cam Newton at Patriots practice. He's away from the team facility until Thursday due to COVID-19 protocols. He traveled to a Patriots-approved medical appointment that required him to leave the New England area. Daily COVID tests all negative. Due to a misunderstanding about COVID tests conducted away from NFL facilities, Newton's out for 5 days per protocol. Colts QB Carson Wentz, coming back from foot surgery, returned to practice today, took first-team reps in 7-on-7 drills, is optimistic he can play in Week 1, but we'll see how the foot responds. Indianapolis won't risk rushing Wentz back, explains ESPN Colts reporter Mike Wells.
I'm not a math guy, but I'll tell you, with 3 weeks before the start of the regular season, signs are pointing in the right direction for Carson Wentz, but he can't have any setbacks because the Colts think of this as a big, long-term investment. They don't think of this as a short side. So if Carson Wentz is not ready in Week 1, they have no problem going with Jacob Eason or Sam Ehlinger.
Fiesta Bowl organization announcing a multi-year partnership with Caesars Entertainment.
What? Just 15 seconds to talk about Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea? That smooth taste of real brewed iced tea with just the right kick of alcohol? What? We started already? Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Look for it in the bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Good. Yeah, we've had a good week of prep. So today just finished up our second full game prep day. So it was good. Kind of getting into more of a flow, game planning, a little bit different than last week. Kind of transitioning out of camp. So it's been good. It's a little bit new for me, this schedule compared to college. It's a little different. So still getting used to it. But I got my routine mapped out, and I'll make some changes here and there based on what I like and don't like. But I feel like we're in a good spot.
The man of the night coming on up, Trevor Lawrence. Showtime. All the trailers. I'm sure the opening Monday Night Football montage will just be Trevor Lawrence with a sprinkle of Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill every once in a while. But it's going to be the Trevor show, and people are going to tune in to see Trevor Lawrence tonight. Not to say that he can't handle the pressure. This guy has been in big moment after big moment. But I am very curious to see, after a pretty solid first outing here in Jacksonville, if he can build some momentum off that, if he can turn that into some scoring drives, would be fantastic. It'd be the chef's kiss, especially in the French Quarter where Brent Martineau is right now, hanging out, I believe. Brent, are we in the French Quarter right now?
Yeah, we're in the French Quarter. We have made it. I don't know if you can hear the trombones in the background. I don't know how noisy it will be. Just had fighter jets fly over. I mean, I'm telling you, we got some atmosphere here in New Orleans, and there's plenty of it all the time. It's an awesome place. So very cool. And we'll head over to the Superdome in just a little bit. But we're going to do a little TV first from the French Quarter. Hey, I was just watching Jeff Darlington sat down with Trevor Lawrence. You brought up Trevor Lawrence, of course, being a big story today, and they're going to make him that way. And in the soundbite that they tweeted out with Jeff Darlington was about his relationship with Peyton Manning. It just shows this guy, listen, I think a lot of guys bounce ideas off other people. I'm sure Darrell Bevel and Schottenheimer have put him in touch with others. Maybe it's Favre. Maybe it's Russell Wilson. Maybe it's Matthew Stafford. Maybe it isn't, but they have connections to those guys. Andrew Luck. So, I'm sure he's talked to a lot of quarterbacks over the years because he's been such a big prospect. But I like the fact that he's asking the right questions and learning from a guy like Manning on the simple things like a schedule. We don't think about that. We don't care about that stuff. But for somebody like him, who it's different than college, and he's the CEO now of this franchise, I think it is an important thing to figure out your weekly schedule and what you're supposed to do and how much you're supposed to be in the book and everything else. So you like to hear those things about Trevor. He's surrounded himself with the right people and seemingly asking the right questions. Awesome.
No, without a doubt. And it is important to get, some sort of schedule because we are creatures of habit. And it's weird because all the time we hear the narrative of, he hit the rookie wall. He hit the rookie wall. He hit the rookie wall. But being the quarterback position, it's such a double standard where that's not an excuse if you're a quarterback in the NFL as a rookie. Like, you never heard, well, Justin Herbert hit the rookie wall or Joe Burrow hit the rookie wall. You can't afford to hit a rookie wall. Now, if you're a defensive lineman, if you're a wide receiver, okay, people can give you the benefit of the doubt. But the quarterback being obviously the coveted of all positions, you can't fall into that narrative hitting a rookie wall. So that's why it's important to find that routine, ask those around you, whether it's a backup quarterback, a coach, or someone that's been there before, but get as much help as you can because everyone goes through it, regardless of the position. I'm sure even punters. I don't know about punters, but maybe punters. Maybe Brian Anger even went through a rookie wall one time. I don't know if he did or not, but it's just
dead leg.
Dead leg. Yeah, you get a little dead leg. But it's just it's the fact, it's the mundaneness of a long season going from college to the pros where it's all football nonstop, and sometimes players don't know how to adapt to that.
Yeah, it's something we haven't really talked about, but to your point, just to kind of add one more thing. We're talking about the longest NFL season ever, right? I mean, it's now going into January, deep into January, and that's just the regular season. So they have to deal with that, a 17th game of the regular season, and I think everybody else is trying to figure that out and navigate it. Forget about just the rookies. So it just adds to it. And what I always say, and every time we have this conversation, I'm sorry if you listen to me and heard me say it a bunch, but I think it's true. It's that those rookies, man, they don't get time off. They have really just go right into that next season with all the interviews and the draft process and everything, combine, whatever it might be, all of that. So they really never get to reset for the next season until after their rookie year. And so maybe it was somewhat of a blessing, actually, for Trevor Lawrence that he had the non-throwing shoulder surgery. And he got to kind of chill out a little bit and had to. He was forced to. That might actually help him this year in the long run. All right, before I hit TV, let me give you a few things to watch for tonight, in my opinion. Of course, it's got to be the quarterbacks. I mean, I actually have my eyes on Minshew a little bit more because I think he needs to play well now all of a sudden to hold off of C.J. Beathard. Where does he fit? Does he really shine? Could the Jags trade him in a couple of weeks? I don't really think that's in play. I think they like Gardner and they want him around. But I have my eyes on Gardner Minshew. Of course, we're all going to watch Trevor. But how does Gardner Minshew play? What kind of narrative is coming out of this game for Gardner Minshew? I think will be pretty important. Hey, Colin Johnson, where does he fit on this roster? And can he make some noise? He's had some practices, Austin, where he's really delivered and he's been a focal point. With DJ Chark out, it's a chance for a guy like Colin Johnson to shine, but he's got to hold off a Tavon Austin or Laquan Treadwell or a Josh Hammond even, who's had a really nice camp. I think Colin Johnson's a part of it. I just don't know that he's a part of it. And then I want to see the secondary flash again. I want to see the young guys build off last week. C.J. Henderson, can he stack them up? Tyson Campbell, can he stack them up? I think that will be fun to watch. And I'll watch Andre Sisco, by the way, and put him in that conversation. I think those guys showed me something last week. I know Campbell gave up the touchdown, but I think he looked good overall. And so I want to see if that secondary can back it up, do it 2 weeks in a row. And then we're going to be talking about them a little bit going into week 3 in the regular season, Austin.
All right, 3 things I'm going to be watching. I'm not picking players like I did before because literally I said watch Carlos Hyde could have a big game. He had like 2 carries, and then all my friends, well, you told us Carlos Hyde was going to have a big game, and they played, the DFS preseason like a bunch of degenerates, so it's not my fault. So I'm not going to pick any players except Trevor Lawrence, obviously. That's the number one thing to watch tonight. Can he improve? Can he improve on a pretty solid outing the first game of the season against Cleveland? Against the Saints team, who I'm not sure how many of their starters will be playing on defense. It should be easy pickings, hopefully. Can he improve in that first showing? Second thing I'm watching is the improvement of the defense. Now, you saw some good, you saw some bad. If you want to call it the bad that you saw against the Cleveland Browns, it was stopping the running back position in terms of screens and in terms of passing routes. Well, you're taking on a Saints team right now that in terms of depth, they are pretty deep in terms of the quote-unquote receiving back. When you have guys like, Devontae Freeman who can be that. This guy by the name of Tony Jones Jr. who's starting to be a receiving threat. You got Dwayne Washington. And then keep in mind, they have a guy, and I can't believe he's listed on their depth chart right now as a wide receiver. Because last time I checked, he was a running back, but a guy by the name of Ty Montgomery, who came from Green Bay, went to the New York Jets, and now is with the Saints, is listed as a running back. Listed as a wide receiver, but I expect him to get some reps as a running back as well. Can the Jaguars improve? Can they stop the screen game? Can they stop those wheel routes? And can they pick up on kind of a thing where they left off, it wasn't that good, right? This is where communication comes into play. This is where being on the same page comes into play. Now you're missing out on Josh Allen tonight. Yeah, it's not the biggest deal in the world because it's a preseason. He doesn't really need it. But at the same time, that is a leader on your defense. So who's going to step up now in Josh Allen's role? Do we get more Jihad Ward? Obviously, it's going to be a showcase for Caleb on Chase on as well. Do we see more Dwayne Smoot? Who's going to pick up the slack now that Josh Allen's going to leave being gone? And then my third thing that I'm watching, obviously, it's the swag factor on defense in terms of that secondary. You're not facing necessarily the most challenging wide receivers tonight, but you're facing a pretty challenging offense if it is firing on all cylinders. So with that being said, how do you handle Taysom Hill? How do you handle Jameis Winston? Trevor Siemian, yeah, we'll see what it is. And then with Ian Book, keep in mind, Ian Book they like a lot. Now, he's not ready to be the starter day one, but I've seen a lot of comparisons to Drew Brees and how they feel about him. Ian Book, obviously the rookie out of Notre Dame, he might get some playing time tonight as well. It's not the Saints players that scare me because Alvin Kamara is going to be out. We'll see how much Latavius Murray plays tonight. It's not the Saints players on offense that scare me, but it is the system. It is the play calling. It is Sean Payton that scares me. So how is this Jaguars defense going to step up to that tonight?
You know what I'm watching for?
What are you watching?
So I drafted, we've talked about this off the air. I drafted Latavius Murray in a fantasy league where I got totally screwed, and CeeDee Lamb was my third pick because I disconnected an auto pick. Not important.
Okay.
Point of the story is my running backs are in shambles, and I have Latavius Murray, but now there's whispers that Devontae Freeman, as you mentioned, might make the team over Latavius Murray.
Yes. So
what I need to know, is Latavius Murray going to be on the team, or should I pick up Carlos Hyde? So that's what I'm watching for.
I like it. Well, and that's a great point, too, as well, Casey. When we talk Carlos Hyde, this is my player to watch preseason game number 1 against the Browns. Wasn't really much to watch. Not to his, lack of trying. It's just the fact that they didn't use him that much. Tried to get him going in the passing game a little bit. He had one target. He was covered up well. Trevor Lawrence threw it, and just it wasn't there. So I'm very curious to see what these reps look like now divvied because, from the casual fan's perspective, that's one thing you always got to watch with these preseason games. Who's getting what reps here? We talk about Trevor Lawrence, Gardner Minshew. Obviously, at least in my opinion, I expect to see the lion's share of the first half reps to go to Trevor Lawrence. Why? Because in my opinion, he's the starting quarterback. But I'm very curious to see how we treat C.J. Beathard and Gardner Minshew. Do they get an even amount of reps? Are they even on the same plane right now? Or does this team value Gardner Minshew over C.J. Beathard? I get it. Beathard, in terms of training camp, it was okay. It was a lot of hit or miss. Minshew looked good, but it's like I always say, those reps in training camp, they get you more reps in a preseason game. The preseason game, in my opinion, is what counts the most. And we're talking about a guy in C.J. Beathard who looked pretty dang good. All right, one could argue he probably looked the best out of any quarterback on that Jaguars roster that night against the Cleveland Browns. So I'm curious to see, are we going to see a competition tonight between Beathard or Minshew, or do we see Minshew get most of the reps, and then Beathard, you sprinkle him on here, maybe late in the third quarter or early in the fourth? That's going to tell you exactly where everybody stands right now. I think it's a very important thing to take part of because I don't see them keeping 3 quarterbacks without a practice squad guy. I don't see them keeping Minshew and Beathard. And to me, it's hard to justify spending that much money on Beathard and then having him as a third-string, quarterback. At the end of the day, it's not my money. And like I always say, the salary cap doesn't exist. But you brought Beathard here for a reason. You believed in Beathard for a reason. You gave him that money for a reason. Now, Gardner Minshew has surprised a lot of people, Urban Meyer included. I'm very curious to see how those reps get divvied up tonight, along with guys like Carlos Hyde and James Robinson. We assume James Robinson's the guy, as he should be. Had 1,000 yards rushing last season, NFL top 100. I see you, James Robinson. How many reps is he getting tonight compared to Carlos Hyde? Is that a competition, or do we see the writing on the wall and it's just a formality at this point? So I'm watching for reps tonight. I'm not going to have like a pad and paper or anything counting, okay, all right, that's another rep for Beathard, another rep for Minshew. I'm not going to watch it that closely, but I feel like what the third and fourth quarter looks like is going to be very telling of where this team could be going in the future. Another thing you got to watch as well is is there a tight end that's going to make a name for himself tonight? Because I do think you get more of the playbook tonight. I think this is the night that you do that. I think this is the night where we see more maybe of a Travis Etienne look in the slot. And what is that going to be like? I think this is the night where we see more maybe, is James O'Shaughnessy going to play if he's playing? Is he going to be your receiving tight end? I still feel like I get it. They love Chris Manhertz. And in one of my bold predictions, I said I think Chris Manhertz could have a great season in terms of receiving. Can we see that tonight? All right. Can we see an offense not beat themselves up, not have whatever 80-something yards in the first half? So there is a lot of stuff to watch tonight. And I think that's going to probably be the biggest thing is how does this offense look? Because keep in mind, Urban Meyer, offensive-minded coach. Keep in mind, when it's prime time and people are tweeting with their Cheeto fingers and all the experts are watching, how this offense does is going to be a direct correlation, at least to the national media, of how well Urban Meyer is doing. So there's a lot of things to take in here, and I can't wait for it, man. Casey, how do you feel this game's going to go tonight? You feeling good about this one?
Well,
big.
Yeah, big. I should just take the nice words of somebody on the stream, and this is kind of how I'm feeling, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Our man said we are going to get stomped. I feel.
Yeah, I can't buy into that narrative. More times than not, especially when you're not. And once again, I don't know how many starters will be playing for New Orleans. Now, I've seen conflicting reports. I've seen some reports saying they're going to be in a couple of series. I see some reports saying they're not going to play at all. So New Orleans media definitely get on the same page here so I can report it properly because I don't know who's playing for New Orleans and who's not playing for New Orleans. I would assume that their offense, which there is a lot of questions, who will take over Michael Thomas, what are the receivers going to look like? I think their offense could get a lot more runs with the ones, which is good for this Jaguars defense. To me, I don't see what the point would be playing a lot of the Saints starters on defense, just because you kind of know what you have already. I'm not sure if you got to see Marcus Davenport. I don't know if you really got to see Cameron Jordan, maybe for a series at the very most. But then once again, you got to ask yourself, if they do play, what's this offensive line going to do? Right? Because if you want to talk about disappointments, that was probably the biggest one in the preseason game number 1 for these Jaguars is the offensive line. The unit that a lot of people, including myself, thought, well, this could be the strongest unit just because they had played together before. There is some experience there because that's what it's all about. It's about chemistry. Sure, you can have 3 or 4 all-pros, and, yeah, your offensive line is going to be good. Spoiler alert. But if you don't have those all-pros and you don't have those Pro Bowlers, the next biggest thing that you would like is the ability to gel together, is the ability to work well together. And that being said, Norwell was out, right? So some players were out. It's never going to be perfect. I get that. But you want to see an improvement on that offensive line because you got a guy named Walker Little. And talking to you, Juwan Taylor, even talking to you, Cam Robinson. You got a guy in Walker Little who I think is playing at a very high level already, from what I see in training camp. Now, he may not have the best first preseason game of his career. Not going to fault him for that. But you have a guy biting at the heels right now, chomping at the bit to get in there. And I think if you're Juwan Taylor, you're Cam Robinson, you're a little nervous. Now, I'll be honest with you. The last thing I want to see is Walker Little, who's predominantly been, I think, a left tackle, have to swing over to the right side and then play that spot. And I get it. The footwork is, it's different footwork and all that, and it's not that big of a deal. But I still want that guy on the left side where he's accustomed to, where he's comfortable playing. So I wouldn't want to see him go on the right side. But Walker Little's a guy, too, I'll be watching tonight, because I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here, but we need to see better showings out of Juwan Taylor especially, but even Cam Robinson. And we'll see what this defensive line looks like for the New Orleans Saints. If Cam Jordan's out there, if Marcus Davenport's out there, well, then there you go. Now you're going to get a good idea of what this offensive line can bring to the table.
Going back to the Saints offense, question for you. Did you know Kevin White, the former 7th overall pick, is like a 4th-string wide receiver for the Saints?
I had no idea.
How about Chris Hogan?
Now,
remember Chris
Hogan from Buffalo and then New England, Miami.
Yeah. Both of them
are on the Saints.
Yeah. And
deep
on the Saints.
on the depth chart. We're talking, dang, 4th team. I'm seeing it right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, no Michael Thomas, no Traquan Smith. That is what it is. But, I mean, still, you're going to be going against guys that you've at least heard of. Remember, there was probably a time where the Bears said, nah, we should just hold Kevin White out. He's one of our starters.
Well, now, I was there when they drafted Kevin White. And I remember the hype. And this is the crazy thing about football sometimes. So, like, I remember when the Bears drafted Kevin White and the excitement level of everybody. Because there was a thought, and I'm trying to think at the time, I think Alshon Jeffrey was still there, but he was on the way out, if I'm not mistaken. And at the time, it was like, all right, if you compare somebody with Kevin White, Alshon Jeffrey, it's game over. All right. It's like, taking candy from a baby at that point. And I remember when Kevin White got in there, and I think it was like the 2nd or 3rd practice, he had a soft tissue injury. And it's kind of like, uh-oh. And then I got let go, and then didn't see him practice ever since then. But there was a lot of hype on that guy. And for whatever reason, it just hasn't worked out for Kevin White. I remember him coming out of West Virginia, right? I believe, yeah, yep. West Virginia. Yeah, that's the wide receiver position sometimes. I remember guys like John Ross, who everyone was so high on because of the speed, goes to Cincinnati and, trying to make a roster spot right now as we speak. So the receiver position, it can be tricky. Sometimes you have circumstance like Justin Blackmon, who, I shared a locker room with, who was an all-pro type talent, but unfortunately mentally, he had his demons and he just couldn't put it together. But then you have a guy like Kevin White who, once again, in my opinion, had all the promise, but for whatever reason, I don't think it was even that mental. He just can't make it work for himself. Couldn't make it stick in Chicago. And I'm not even sure what team he's what number team he's on now. But I know he's been kind of bounced around the league a little bit. So
I think we're on 3 or 4.
On 3 or 4. So yeah, interesting call there with Chris Hogan and Kevin White. So yeah, in terms of the depth, maybe if the New Orleans Saints, I said the receivers don't scare me a little bit, but they had some household names, let's just say.
It might be where, for at least the DBs of the Jags, like if those are your guys that are starting, those are still quality is an interesting word to throw around, but they've been in the league. They know what they're doing.
No, they've been in the league, and most importantly, they've started in meaningful NFL games, right? So there's experience there. So once again, are they the best right now? Obviously not, because they're 4th on their respective depth charts, but at the same time, to go against experienced receivers is only going to make you better. So once again, I hope that this secondary can eat tonight. I hope they can get some more swag going, because it's going to be a big part of this 3-4 defense coming up. More football talk we get back here on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Another partly sunny and hot day with temperatures up near 90, feels like 100 plus, then some rain midday into this afternoon with scattered showers and storms. A shower early tonight, partly cloudy, low 74, then scattered showers and storms Tuesday, high 91. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sima.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where for a limited time, get 0% financing for 5 years, only at Beards Diamonds.
For survivors of domestic violence in Duval and Baker counties, Hubbard House provides free, confidential emergency shelter and services. Call our 24-hour hotline at 904-354-3114.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
DoorDash here with Summer of Dash Pass. Right now, Dash Pass members are taking $10 off groceries, alcohol, pet food, and more. Need a nightcap? $10 off. Got a cough? Get relief delivered for less. Want to surprise your crush? Send a gift and save. Try Dash Pass for free and get special savings, exclusive menu items, and $0 delivery fees year-round. Get more from your neighborhood now with Dash Pass in the DoorDash app, and stay cool out there. Terms and conditions apply.
Temperatures keep climbing, and hotter weather means your body needs more water. Stay hydrated. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure the water you and your family drink is cleaner, healthier, and tastes great. It starts with the Connecticut system, proudly made in America and installed by the pros CGC Water. Not sure about your water? Call CGC. They'll analyze your water for free. I haven't had to worry about my water since I got mine installed because Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of the contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, non-electric twin tanks that use less salt and water during regeneration. Save up to $500 on select softener and RO systems this month. Financing available with approved credit. Call CGC Water at 904-552-1242. Call and ask about Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Tell them Brent sent you and find out all the details and all the great ways you can save. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity. The future of college football is now, and our primary goal is to position the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl and Jacksonville to be prepared for a potential college football expansion. And we need you, our local business leaders, to join our team and showcase that Jacksonville supports college football. Gator Bowl Sports has opportunities for all companies, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. I would love to meet you and talk about our future. If you'd like to learn more, contact me at 904-798-1700.
Hi, Steve. Have a seat. I just wanted to see how your meeting with Chardonnay went.
Chardonnay?
According to your peak push-to-talk device, you were with Chardonnay or Porsche or Bambi.
Oh, Bambi, right.
I clicked boop to talk, and I was talking, but you weren't booping.
I can explain.
Love these little things. I know exactly where my people are anytime I need them. Boop.
I was in a boopin' meeting. We got the contract to build the champagne room at the Jiggle and Wiggle Gentlemen's Club.
You have glitter all over your face.
Find your people with a boop. BoopToTalk.com.
Boop.
August is Black Philanthropy Month, a time to recognize how African American giving enriches our community. From the early days of A.L. Lewis and Eartha M.M. White to today's vibrant networks of Black fraternities, sororities, alumni, and service groups, Black philanthropy is alive and well in Northeast Florida. The Community Foundation for Northeast Florida salutes these historic giving traditions that continue to provide meaningful solutions today. Learn more by visiting jaxcf.org. That's jaxcf.org.
Are you looking for a venue to celebrate your special occasion that guests can't stop talking about? Call Riverside North Special Events and Banquet Hall. We specialize in anniversaries, weddings, birthday parties, corporate meetings, family reunions, fundraisers, graduations, and funerals. This unique, all-inclusive, full-service venue is the way to go. Call us today at 354-4162 and let us book your next event. All proceeds from bookings benefit the Clara White Mission.
Back to school or back to work, you need a ride. And Honda The Avenues has the vehicles you want. Hi, it's Matt Ray. Go to HondaTheAvenues.com right now. Pick out your vehicle, build your payment, and value your trade. You can do it all right now from where you are, whether it's at home, work, or waiting in line for a coffee. You'll get the absolute top dollar for your trade. So whether you're shopping for a new or used ride, Honda The Avenues has the best selection and the best price. Plus, they're real easy to deal with and easy to find. South of 295 on Phillips Highway or at HondaTheAvenues.com.
Anyone can talk like they're a big dog, but few actually walk the talk.
We're not the only plumbing company claiming same-day water heater service. In fact, a lot of customers have called us after other companies failed to come through on their same-day service talk. Fortunately, Griffin Service delivers. We eat big dogs for lunch. And we fix what others can't. Some of that's knowing the science, engineering, and craft of AC and plumbing better than the Bubbas, but it's also better planning. The key to actually doing same-day water heater replacement is having water heaters in stock and ready to go. And that's what we do. Gas, electric, tank, tankless, we got them all in stock and ready to roll for you. So if you want to avoid the bait-and-switch turd bucket tactics of the Bubbas, or if you discover you're in the middle of an all-talk, no-walk situation with a wannabe, well, you know who to call, right?
GriffinService.com.
CMC 1250697.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jacks on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
And all I can do here is just thank you guys. Thank you guys for all the years of support. Thank you guys for all the motivation. Thank you for all the inspiration. You guys will always be in my heart. And I sincerely, sincerely appreciate it. No words can describe how I feel about you guys. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. God, I love you guys. And I love you guys. And Mamba out. Man, Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba, would have been celebrating a birthday today, and you see a lot of people obviously, reaching out, wishing him happy birthday, and celebrating the greatness that was Kobe Bryant. And I've shared this before a little bit. We told the story when we were at the Super Bowl, and we got word that Kobe Bryant had passed away, and just the somberness that took place over Radio Row, it's usually so lively and energetic, and it's like the energies got sucked out of that venue for the next couple of days just because losing somebody so great like Kobe Bryant. And it got me wondering a little bit and asking the question. So we talk about the Mamba mentality and the Black Mamba, and even there in his farewell speech to I think his last game at the Staples Center even said Mamba out. And that was a name that really he became so associated with him. And I've told this story where growing up as a kid, it was either, Team AI or Team Black Mamba. And I was on Team AI just because I identified more with Allen Iverson than I did with Kobe Bryant at the time. Now, I had no idea what type of people these guys were. All I know is that the way that they were portrayed is that Allen Iverson, coming from Philly, was more of the blue collar. He's the underdog. He's the short guy covered in tattoos. He's got the cornrows and everything. He's just a rough around the edges guy, you got the sense. And with Kobe Bryant, it was more, he's the scorer. He's the clean cut. He's Hollywood. He's in L.A. Now, those characteristics aren't fair, but that's just as a kid growing up, that's how I perceived both of those guys, both great players in their own outright. But it wasn't until I got older where I found more and more respect for Kobe Bryant and the Mamba mentality, if you will. And I find it funny now, like that nickname, the Mamba, it's translating to other sports, or other genders per se. Like Diana Taurasi, arguably one of the best WNBA players, one of the best female basketball players of all time. Well, now she goes by the White Mamba, right? Kobe Bryant was the Black Mamba. Taurasi is the White Mamba. And it just got me thinking a little bit, like in terms of nicknames, the Black Mamba's up there. Now, I'll be honest. When I first heard the Black Mamba, didn't know what a Mamba was. Had to Google it. We didn't have Google back then. Had to go in a library book and go in a dictionary and find out what Mamba was, because I had no idea. I'm in central Wisconsin. We don't have Mambas. I don't even know where Mambas are native to, but we don't have them in central Wisconsin. So I had to look it up a little bit. Turned out it was a snake, a very, very poisonous snake. And once again, not my favorite nickname, but then we associate with Kobe Bryant. Well, yeah. That's badass. So what I was thinking, Casey, is what other nicknames, I guess, from your childhood up until now really resonate with you, really stick with you as in terms of just the ultimate game changers and nicknames that we'll be talking about for the rest of our lives?
All right, follow me here.
Following.
This is not what I know. This is not what you want.
No, it's okay. I mean, careful. If we go down the golf road, I'm going to be upset.
No.
Okay, I mean, Tiger, obviously.
Some good ones that I look back on. White chocolate. I know that's specific.
Oh, Jason Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's classic. I love white chocolate. Yeah.
How about Swaggy P?
Swaggy P, good one. Good one.
And one that I was not alive for, but I was born in Indiana, and a lot of my family are Bears fans. So how about the fridge?
The fridge, I like it. And I thought you were going to say Larry Legend, which I was going to be very upset because you know how I feel about Larry Bird on the show.
No, sir, I would never.
Gets a little too much play for my liking. This is a Michael Jordan show. And you think about Michael Jordan, you call him the GOAT, the legend, whatever you want to call him. But no, those are great ones, man. The refrigerator is classic. Growing up to me, like you had Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt. Now, I'll be honest.
It's a good one.
When I watch it now, and I watch a Nugenix commercial, and they go, the Big Hurt, more like the Big Hunk, that ruins it for me. Okay, Frank, I understand. We all got to make some money. I get it. But the fact that lady in that commercial is desecrating your nickname by calling you the Big Hunk hurts me a little bit. Okay, the Big Hurt hurting me a little bit. But I was always a huge fan of the Big Hurt because I didn't understand why they called him that, but I knew it was badass.
You know what's funny about that is my dad was, like I just mentioned, Chicago area.
Yeah.
Cubs fan, not a White Sox fan.
Okay.
So my dad used to call the Big Hurt the Big Skirt. And I was just like, all right. And then all these years later, this is way farther down, but my dad used to work for the company that he used the bat of, like the brand bat.
Oh, cool.
The home runs.
Cool.
So anyway, he had a signed Frank Thomas bat on the wall for like 10 years, and he called him the Big Skirt. I'm like, we can't have it both ways, Dad.
No. Either you celebrate him or you get the bat off the wall.
We did
unbelievable. Obviously with Tom Brady now, it is the GOAT, right? Like I think, till the end of time, Tom Brady will be the GOAT. And you may never see another GOAT like that in terms of the number of Super Bowls that he's been to. I think of a guy like Aaron Rodgers. I know in Wisconsin, like they'll call him like discount double check just because of the commercial. Is that what you want to be associated with though?
No.
A-Rod, I guess, but that's Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you do the discount double check, you're not even associating yourself. Like, that's not even you. That's State Farm.
No.
You know what I mean?
I mean, some people want to call him Aaron, but once again, it is what it is.
There's a ton of Aarons out there,
Tons of Aarons, Aaron. Yeah, poor Aaron Rodgers. Some other ones, though, Ken Griffey Jr., he called him Junior. Sammy Sosa was slamming Sammy. I remember that one. But no, it just got me thinking a little bit. Like, I remember, who Rod Smart is? Probably not. Do you know who He Hate Me was?
Oh, yeah.
He's He Hate Me.
Right.
See, it goes to show you a nickname or a moniker does you justice when I don't even know what your real name is, but we know you by your moniker and He Hate Me.
Yeah.
That's impressive. That was the XFL dude back in the day. Some more that come to mind real quick. You got any more for us, Casey?
Ed Too Tall.
Ed Too Tall Jones, not bad. I mean, you think of Magic Johnson, if you want to go back in time, Babe Ruth, which had I guess that's the thing about Babe Ruth, why he may be, I don't know. I always get in debates with people of was he the best baseball player of all time? I don't think so. I mean, I wasn't born for that, so who really cares? But you talk about a guy who had more notoriety than anybody because he had more nicknames than anybody. If you've seen the movie The Sandlot, you know what I'm talking about. It was like the Sultan of SWAT, the Great Bambino, the Colossus of Clout, the Babe. I mean, this is one dude. He's got it's not like Kobe Bryant had 10 different ones, but Babe Ruth did for whatever reason. So it goes to show you just, I guess, how much of a folk hero and how much of a legend Babe Ruth is. If you're asking my favorite, though, or at least the one that I maybe respect the most, and this guy's he's got a couple nicknames himself. Iron Mike Tyson would be a good one. But he was referred to as the baddest man on the planet.
It's a great one.
And anytime that you're referred to the baddest man on the planet, hey, mic drop. And that's it.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing. Big Hurt, more like the Big Hunk, Frank Thomas, whatever, Nugenix, take a seat. All right, relax. Leave Frank Thomas alone, or let's not make so much embarrassing commercials. I get it. Magic Johnson's a great one as well. King James, obviously, will go down in history as a great one. But the baddest man on the planet?
Yeah.
I mean, what more do you want? What more do you want out of a nickname? Now, I'll stick with my A-Train. A-Train was given to me when I was in 4th grade after Anthony Thomas out of Michigan. I mentioned him before. Now, truth be told, and I love Anthony Thomas to death. Not sure how the NFL career went because didn't hear a lot about him. All right, so named after him, it is what it is from a nickname. But if you're referred to the baddest man on the planet, enough said, man. Enough said. Thanks for playing.
Absolutely agree. Let me ask you where you fall on this. Nick, it could be a nickname, but it's not. So I'll ask you, Shaq. Is that the man's name or is that a nickname?
See, when I was a kid, and I think I'm a little older than you are, though, we used to call him, we called him the Diesel.
That's fair.
He was referred to as Diesel. But I think Shaq in general is a nickname. Yeah.
Okay.
It's obviously shortened, but if you look at like Ken Griffey Jr., like one of his nicknames was just Junior. Like you call him Junior and you knew what it was. Look at Tiger Woods. Tiger.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You rock Tiger Vision on the video games. So I think at the end of the day with Shaq, yeah, Shaq's fine. I think you know who Shaq is. And let's be honest, if you name your kid Shaq, like it's always gonna be there. Right? Like, I'm sure there was a while where if you named your kid Michael back in the 90s, it was like, well, Michael Jordan, like you're associated with that.
Yeah.
But if you name your kid Shaq, whether it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or whether it's right now, first thing you think about is Shaquille O'Neal, right? Does he play basketball? No, he's actually into chess. Oh, okay, but his name's Shaq? Very cool. Very, very cool. So
he's the Shaquille O'Neal of the chessboard.
He's the Diesel of the chessboard.
He's knocking those pieces out like Shaq used to grab those rebounds. I've never played chess. I have no idea if that's how it goes.
No, for sure. More that stuck out to me. You got Conor McGregor, the notorious Conor McGregor.
That's a good one.
The Notorious?
Yeah.
Well, it's cool because, then he always plays the Notorious B.I.G. That's what it's all about. It's about branding your nickname. Like, it's one thing what is Patrick Mahomes' nickname? Does he have one? Patty Mahomes?
Yeah, it's Patty. That's right.
Patty?
I don't like that.
Are we okay with that, Casey?
No.
I don't like it either. I don't like it one bit.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? It's Patty Mahomes?
I think so.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
So, I think like a peppermint patty from Peanuts. The character Peppermint Patty?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Nah. Change that, Patrick Mahomes.
We got to.
Get something better. I mean, I'm saying a good nickname can go a long way. So,
I guess he's the epitome of you don't need a nickname to succeed.
True.
Because some of these people, I mean, Jason Williams, was he really good or was he just white chocolate? You know what I mean?
He was okay. Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying there, but like he was better because of the nickname.
Right.
Like sometimes a nickname does put you in a new echelon. I'm very curious to see with Trevor Lawrence if he gets a nickname. Like Trevor Town, yeah. T-Law.
Sunshine.
No, see, don't even go down that road though, Casey. Right? Because we're better than that. We are better than Sunshine. Let the national media call that dude whatever, Sunshine. But it's not going to fly here. Oh, and one of my personal favorites, we used to call Ryan Braun as a kid, the Hebrew Hammer. No, that never stuck, but that's what we called him.
It's a good one.
The Hebrew Hammer. I mean, tell me that's not going to ring fear in pitchers everywhere.
Yeah.
Why Bob Uecker wasn't on the call calling him the Hebrew Hammer, I will never understand. But when we come back here, that's enough nickname talk for a while. We'll have Brett in the 5 o'clock hour, talk some more football. A lot went on over this past weekend. A lot of football-related stuff. We got, I think, quarterback grades going out tomorrow or Wednesday, but we can at least touch on it a little bit. What's the quarterback controversy in Chicago? How's Trey Lance looking? Is it the Jimmy G show, or do they go with Trey Lance? A lot of hot topics in the NFL world coming up here on ESPN 690.
What's up? It's Casey of Action Sports Jax. If you can't catch the show live, just search Action Sports Jax wherever you get your podcasts to make sure you don't miss moments like this.
Now, keep in mind, you're sitting next to Mr. Thanksgiving right now because I absolutely stuffed the stat column.
You sure did.
And they called me Mr. Thanksgiving.
Nobody
called
you. Nobody called you that.
I don't want to brag.
You called yourself that. Maybe.
I don't want to brag. We're talking 4 points.
Yep.
We're talking 2 rebounds.
Yep.
We're talking a steal.
Okay.
We're talking a block.
Yep.
And I almost broke a guy's ankle. I'm just saying, if you find yourselves around some Jacksonville Giants and all of a sudden one of them starts saying, is that stovetop dressing?
Oh, jeez.
What is that? What is that? Is that cranberry sauce? Oh, Mr. Thanksgiving's in the house. And that's who you know they're talking about me. Are you a recent high school graduate who hasn't made up their mind about what they want to do for their career? Or possibly you're already working, but you're stuck in a dead-end job? If so, then I'm here to tell you about J-Tech. J-Tech is a local school that offers hands-on essential career training. Have you heard about the massive increase in online ordering since the pandemic started? That means that more people are needed who can service diesel trucks. Diesel technology is an important important part of the transportation industry, and qualified diesel technicians play a huge role in keeping that industry moving. At J-Tech, they're helping to meet the demand for skilled diesel technicians by offering a 91 credit hour ASE-based diesel technology program. This program is going to help you give you the hands-on skills and confidence needed to launch a successful career in diesel technology. To learn more about J-Tech, visit jtech.org or call them at 904-483-9460. Ask for Hank to set up an appointment to tour the campus or get your questions answered. That's 904-483-9460 or visit jtech.org.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity. The future of college football is now, and our primary goal is to position the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl and Jacksonville to be prepared for a potential college football expansion. And we need you, our local business leaders, to join our team and showcase that Jacksonville supports college football. Gator Bowl Sports has opportunities for all companies, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. I would love to meet you and talk about our future. If you'd like to learn more, contact me at 904-798-1700.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
CMG Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit cmglocalsolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. That's cmglocalsolutions.com or call 904-245-8878.
The new era has arrived for Jacksonville football. New coach, new superstars, and a new reason for optimism. One consistent is Tailgaters Parking will be delivering the very best tailgating experience anywhere at the bank. Come see for yourself. Tailgaters doesn't just talk a big game, they deliver. Tailgaters is right across the street from TIAA Bank Field. Have clean, permanent restrooms, great food options, a full liquor bar, and parking spots on a well-kept grass lot. Check out Tailgaters Parking at tailgatersparking.com to reserve your spot now.
At Tire Outlet, we're committed to providing our customers with professional and honest automotive recommendations. Don't believe us? Check out our reviews online and see why we're Jacksonville's preferred automotive shop.
Great guys to work with, always very helpful and affordable.
With 12 locations across Northeast Florida, Tire Outlet can help keep you and your family safe on the road, wherever you are.
Wholesale prices, premium service, Tire Outlet.
Yeah, cleaning house isn't my thing. I'm busy. I call Actual Cleaning. Their housekeeping's different, dependable. My man cave looks great, smells clean. Check out Same Day and Moving Services.
Book now at $40 an hour. Actualcleaning.com.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Fall is just around the corner. Lowe's has what you need to change with the season. Like our new lower prices on select bagged mulch starting at $2.88 per bag. And American Gourmet 3-burner gas grills was $149, now $129. Fall together with Lowe's this Labor Day, in-store and online. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. While supplies last, selection and product availability varies by location. Valid 8/19 through 9/8. U.S. only. Mulch offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
1-1. Fly ball right center. Deep. Got a chance! 500! Miguel Cabrera has done it! The high five to Santiago as he rounds third, and his teammates pour out of the dugout. And this crowd in Toronto on their feet.
Miguel Cabrera making a little history. Was that last night, Casey, or 2 nights ago?
Yesterday afternoon.
Yesterday afternoon. Not even night and a day game. Gotcha. Miguel Cabrera. Before we get into baseball real quick, you said you have some golf updates.
Yeah,
now, usually
man.
we don't take a lot of golf updates, especially when Brent's not on the show, but bragging rights are going on right now. Before we get to that, I'll let you get the numbers acquired there. But we got a couple of comments in the stream here. We got Megatron, Kelvin Johnson. Hello. Yeah, my former teammate, Kelvin Johnson.
Yeah.
Fantastic nickname. Mwah, chef's kiss. And by the way, a villain of the Transformers didn't matter, though. All right?
That's true.
I mean, he had that dog in him, man. Believe me, I've told this story many times before. Kelvin Johnson was must-see TV. Good guy, bad guy, didn't matter. Always played the game of football with bad intentions, and he's a wide receiver to boot. And then I saw another one, too. Kevin Garnett with the big ticket.
It's a good one.
Good one, too. And Kevin Durant's got a couple. He's got the Slim Reaper, the Durantula.
The Durant, I've never heard that.
You never heard the Durantula?
No, that's fantastic.
I like the Durantula a lot.
That's good.
Yeah, but I like the Slim Reaper, too.
They also call him a sellout for going to Golden State.
Well, they call him a sellout and a snake as well. So he's got his fair share of nicknames. But yeah, go on with the golf scores now. So Brooks Koepka, Rory McIlroy, mano y mano. What are we talking about here?
Well, I think it was last week on the show, I said if you're a professional golfer, you should not make a bogey on a par 5. Rory McIlroy did that, in which he dropped down
choking
to 7 under. He is now done for the day. He's done at 7 under. However,
Brooks Koepka, careful now, okay?
Since I refreshed the page,
yeah,
Brooks Koepka has also made a bogey. They are now tied at 7 under. Brooks has played 13 holes, so he still has a few to go. He needs to be 1 under throughout the rest of his round to give you your 3rd straight win.
And he's got a par 5 coming up, I assume, right?
The one that Rory bogeyed, yes.
Yep. Okay.
So it's there. It's there for the taking.
It's there for the taking. So it's either going to be a nice showing for Brooks Koepka. Well, not really a nice showing because they're battling for like 20th or whatever.
42nd.
Yeah. So not the best out of our picks, but I'm just saying against you and Brett Martineau, that's all I need is Brooks Koepka to finish above those 2 guys, which hopefully he can. So we'll keep you guys posted for that because I know everyone's concerned about my golf picks. But let's get into baseball a little bit. We got about 5 minutes here before we head to another break, and then we'll get a very football-heavy 5 o'clock hour. Baseball, though, Casey, talk to me a little bit. How are we feeling about the Rays? White hot right now, I think you would call it. White hot?
Yeah, I mean, everyone seems to say the Chicago White Sox are the best team in the American League, which is insane, but nevertheless, it's out there on Twitter. A lot of people like to say that Rays just took 2 out of 3 from them. Could have been a sweep.
Yeah.
If a couple things go differently, but I don't understand how you can claim a team is the best in the league after they just get beat by the Rays. The Rays' disrespect eventually is going to stop, but it's the fact that the Rays keep bringing in random pitcher after random pitcher that the national media hasn't heard of, and they just continue to strike people out left and right. And, I mean, you can keep disrespecting them all you want, but Rays are a good team.
Well, no, and I'm glad we're on this topic right now because I agree. I mean, the Rays are a fantastic team. And then they're playing in a division right now with the Yankees where they're 4.5 games up, which is impressive, in itself. You have a Toronto team that people thought could maybe make a playoff run, and the Boston Red Sox obviously overachieving, now 7 games out from the Rays. But I get the sense that year in and year out, and this has kind of always been the narrative of the Tampa Bay Rays, nobody ever talks about them. I even feel like last year when they're making their run, like I'll be honest with you, and I cover sports for a living. Like, they were never on my radar. Everyone's like, the Dodgers, they're the Dodgers. Or, I was talking about the Brewers, obviously. But nobody was really going over the Rays. Is it the fact just because they had that small market feel in terms of their talent? But even their talent, like, you should know who some of their players are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, what do you attest to this, Casey?
I think the phrase that gets thrown around a lot is the poverty franchise because of the stadium and the attendance and all that. And, that's fine, but it's just you can't deny that it doesn't matter if there's 0 people in the stands or 30,000. If you win the game, you win the game. And that's where the disrespect comes in. You don't have a guy that's making more than I think it's 13. Can't remember what Kiermaier's making, but there's 1 or 2 guys making over $10 million, and to the Yankees, that's their whole roster.
Yeah.
Which obviously hasn't worked. So, I think that there's not something that national media can like attach to. Like you can, obviously the Bucs didn't have that problem with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And even when Jameis was there, you attached to him. Now, granted, because he threw it to the other team 30 times. But they can't seem to find something to attach to with the Rays. They should. They've got Wander Franco, who is great. They've got pitching. So it's one of those things.
See, and to me, it's always the low-hanging fruit, though, and it's always the cheap shot when you want to say, well, their attendance. And I've been to a Rays game, and I'll be honest, you know, like their stadium, you know, I mean, I get it. It's easy, and I'm making fun of it too now, I guess. But and like when y'all win, then like they light the stadium orange. They still do that.
Yeah.
You know, okay. Whatever. Yeah. But you may not have like the household names and the talent, but like is that the difference maker? Because I'm reminded of like when Bryce Harper was in Washington, right? Bryce Harper, when he played for the Nationals, was like an MVP candidate year in, year out. He was almost must-see TV because he had the attitude, and he was one of those guys that was kind of leading on the next generation of baseball player. Well, Bryce Harper goes to Philly on a big-time contract, and Washington wins more.
Yeah.
Washington
won the World Series.
Wins a World Series because of it.
Yeah.
But and I'm not sure like where Washington ranks in terms of fandom and how people feel about them, but like there was for that moment where they were kind of the underdog and they win the whole thing and people were talking about them. Consistently, Tampa Bay, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, has been in the playoffs, number one, but number two has gone really far a couple of times.
Yep.
And it seems like year in and year out, and whether it's like we're getting ready for the season and we're talking about our predictions, whether we're in the postseason now, we're talking about what teams could really make a play, I feel like the Rays don't ever get it, and I can't put a finger on it. Maybe it is a combination of their fan base, a combination of talent. But like I look at a team like the Angels, who have Mike Trout and Ohtani,
right? Two
of the best players in baseball. I'll be honest with you, like, yeah, Ohtani's a big draw and win the MVP more than likely, which much to my chagrin because I wanted Vigorel for betting purposes. But, like, I feel like nobody talks about the Angels that much. Now, they're not winning, so it has something to do with it. But once again, Tampa Bay is winning.
Yeah.
They're in first place, one of the best records in baseball. And we call them a poverty franchise. It's baffling to me.
It is. And just a quick note on the stadium. Everyone seems to have that opinion. As a loyal season ticket holder for a long time.
Yeah.
You know how many times I've been in there and it is storming? This is Florida.
True.
I was not wet.
No, I mean.
It's always 72 degrees.
No, I hear you. No, I'm just poking fun. Well, you know, if you could be like Milwaukee and have a retractable roof.
See, I'm with that.
If you're big time.
Now,
if you're big time.
The Rays are not. Is the Trop the cleanest? Probably not.
No.
But it's you're not wet in the Florida summer. That's all I'm saying.
No.
And you're not sweating.
True. No. And I get both those points. Those are both solid points. I just come from the philosophy where if you're playing in a giant balloon, it doesn't really feel like baseball. Yeah. Now, you're talking to the guy who I've been to a couple Twins games in my life as well. You know, the Twins Brewer Series. We used to go to the Twin Cities, ride the train there or the whatever you want to call it, and then check out some Twins games. Now, in their old dome, they had a thing where when you open the doors and people were exiting, people would get blown back because all the wind was in there. You open the doors and all of a sudden the air goes out, and people would actually get blown back from the doors from opening them. That's how crazy that whole thing was. Now I get it. You had Kirby Puckett and you had all the great names and that monstrosity of a toilet bowl you called whatever the name was. I forgot what they even called
that. The Humphrey Dome?
Whatever it was called. Not a place to play baseball. You're playing in a giant balloon. All right? Step your game up. Well, they did step their game up. Now it's whatever, Target Field or whatever you call it. So they're doing well. But I'm just saying, it's weird watching baseball in a giant balloon. But I'm spoiled. I come from Miller Park, so what do you want me to say?
Nice stadium.
All right, when we come back here, I think we got Brent Martineau calling back in. Live on the French Quarter, I think still. Or maybe he's in Bourbon Street now. Who knows where he's at?
Where in the world is Brent Martineau?
Where in the world is Brent Martineau? We'll find out next. Baseball, football talk at 5. And we'll preview this Jaguars game coming up some more here on ESPN 690.
Hey, boss. Just got done with Case and Neighborhoods. Hey, have you noticed more Safe Touch security signs in yards lately?
No, I'll bet it's because of back to school.
Back to school?
Yeah. See, back in the old days, parents who worked in the afternoon had no idea when Junior got home from school, right?
Yeah. Oh, but now with SafeTouch, the app lets him know exactly when he walks in the door.
Right. Parents love it. And SafeTouch video monitoring can show him exactly who the precious angel is walking in with.
Oh, I get it. SafeTouch is like an extra pair of eyes for mom and dad.
Right. So the kids are never home alone.
And parents are never away from home.
Precisely. It's also one more reason why we crooks got our golden rule. Stay away from SafeTouch houses. Simple as 2 + 2.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
I love football and I love chicken wings. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Mortno. We are a lot alike, right? You love football and you love wings. Let's win the week with Extreme Wings Sports Grill. 4 locations in Jacksonville, Atlantic Boulevard, Ocean Way, 210 in St. Johns County, and the new location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax, serving up the freshest, never frozen, world-famous extreme hot wings to Jacksonville since 1999. We like football. We like wings. We love a good deal. To celebrate the grand opening of the Extreme Wings Roosevelt location, get 6 wings, french fries, and a drink for just $12.99 at the Roosevelt location. 6 wings, french fries, and a drink, just $12.99. Active military gets special discounts: jalapeno ranch, Caribbean jerk, spicy blue cheese, lemon pepper, so many flavors to choose from. And, of course, they can make them extreme if you want. Plenty of space at Extreme Wing Sports Grill locations. If you're looking for a place for the entire team, try Extreme Wing Sports Grill. I love it. You'll love it. 4 locations in Jacksonville, including Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax.
All across the nation, we are here for our communities.
We're doing our part to get supplies where it's needed in order to fight COVID-19 together.
It feels good to be out there to assist our community.
I would like our friends and family to know that your National Guardsmen are always ready and always there.
Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Preseason football as far as urgency right now. With the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Jason Fitz.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. This is what you need to know. Patriots quarterback Cam Newton is away from the team facility for 5 days because of COVID-19 protocols. He traveled to a club-approved medical appointment Saturday that required him to leave New England. All his daily COVID-19 tests were negative. Because of a misunderstanding about COVID, tests conducted away from NFL facilities. Protocol required